Hi, welcome to LVN Success Hub because I want you to be successful so you can graduate in December. Now, today's scripture is found in 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17. Every scripture is God breathed and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for instruction in righteousness, that each person who belongs to God may be complete, thoroughly equipped for every good work. That means what you're doing. And in Hebrews 10:24, let us consider how we may spur one another towards love and good deeds. Something else that you're doing today. Your actions ripple across your unit more than you realize. The way you handle stress, communicate under pressure, and show compassion inspires others. You may think you're just doing your job, as the saying goes, but others are watching and being shaped by your examples. Now, maybe I'm the only one who has seen this, but one nurse can shift the whole tone of the shift. And I've been there and done that. That has happened. So here's a chance to show others, staff and patients, to model calm, kindness, and excellence in one situation today and see the encouragement that you bring from it. Now, let's get into the topic for today that I am going to talk about because I feel like it's very important, and that is sleep apnea. Now, I'm bringing this up because I have sleep apnea, and I found out just about 4 months ago that I had it. I didn't know what the symptoms were, so I didn't know what it was. I just knew I felt bad. I was very tired all the time. I had major, just sudden drowsiness that I couldn't explain, and I thought I just had a virus, so I kind of blew it off. But it got worse, and it got worse, and I got to the point I was getting scared because I just didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know when to go into my doctor and say, "Hey, doc, I'm tired, I'm sleepy." Oh well. But one day I was in seeing my cardiologist for AFib. I just happened to mention to him I was sleepy all the time and tired all the time. Well, he didn't say anything, but what he did was he had me take a sleep study test. And guess what? It was positive. And guess what? I thought, no, no, I don't have sleep apnea. I'm not going to take that. No, this got me something else. I was in complete denial. Until one night I was having a dream. I thought that I couldn't breathe, that I wasn't taking a breath. It actually woke me up, and I realized I had to gasp for air. So here I was gasping to take a nice deep breath, and it dawned on me I had stopped breathing. And I thought, I have sleep apnea. And that is a scary thought and a scary thing to happen. So I had to go back in to see him a little bit later for my next visit. I knew then that what he said was true. So yes, I got a CPAP machine. And it took a few weeks to get it. I couldn't wait because by the time I got it, I was to the point where I was getting really worried about my health. Because when you stop breathing during your sleep and you don't know it, you're not getting oxygen to the brain. So I was having a little bit of memory issues, forgetting little things here and there, and some I guess you could say, mind fog. And I knew what it was by that time, so I knew that I needed to get something going. Got my CPAP, and then I asked the person that was giving me the CPAP machine when she was instructing me on how to use it. It's a small machine, it isn't very big, and I was used to wearing a mask anyway. I asked her just how many people have sleep apnea, how prevalent is it? And I thought she was going to say, oh, just a few people every now and then. It was the opposite. She was getting 4 or 5 people coming in every day that had to have a CPAP machine. The CPAP and this BiPAP, I have a CPAP machine. I was very surprised. I didn't think sleep apnea was that many people had it. I do believe now that people do have it that don't know they have it because they don't know the symptoms. I didn't know the symptoms, and I've been an LVN for 18 years. And I have had patients with sleep apnea, and they have the machines. I didn't teach them anything about it because I didn't know that much about it. I know you stop breathing when you're asleep, but I didn't know there was other symptoms besides that. So I had to learn the hard way. So I'm helping you, those of you that are student nurses, still in school, and those new nurses that are out there now, to know that if you do have a patient that is on a CPAP or BiPAP machine, you need to kind of watch how they're breathing occasionally. I know you have to do assessments and things, but look at that when next time if you have a sleep apnea patient, check that out. See how they were feeling before they got diagnosed. My husband has it too, and I'll mention that in just a minute. More about that. But as soon as I got my CPAP machine, I went home. I was tired. I wanted to take a nap, but I thought this is the perfect time to put this thing on. It reminded me of if you've ever seen or heard of an Invo N95 mask. It looks like a oxygen mask, only it's configured different. And it's got a seal all the way around it, which is probably why I have a mark on my nose because it goes on pretty good. But I was already used to wearing an N95 Invo mask, not the usual cloth kind, not the kind that we wear in hospitals. I had my own, an Invo N95 mask. And this was almost exactly like that. So to me, it was no big deal. And it was very comfortable. And I had a lot of patients that tell me how they felt like they were being suffocated because it was so close to the face and it was so tight, kind of tight on the face. And they felt like they were being suffocated with it. I didn't see that because I put mine on and I laid down. I slept for about 2 hours. Nice. It was so nice to have air being pushed into my face. That helped so much. I did that for about 2 hours almost every day, and at night, of course. But my CPAP machine, as it turns out, was not configured correctly. It wasn't set up right. The doctor that did it got it wrong. I was getting blasted with air, and the mask would actually vibrate on my face. I was having to actually hold the mask down so that I could sleep without it waking me up. But it was so forceful, it was making a very loud noise. It woke my husband up, and he is a rock sleeper. It woke him up, and he realized, oh, okay, I'm getting a lot of air. Mine was set for like 4 to 20. Well, this thing was hitting 20 without even any notice. 2 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the morning, I was getting almost blown out of bed because it was so strong and loud. I finally had to turn it off and take it off, and I slept through the night after that. He was hearing it. So he was hearing it. I knew something was wrong. And I let my doctor know about it. He said, well, you probably just needed the air. No, this thing was strong. So I did an experiment. Eventually, he got one. He got his CPAP machine. But after, about 2 or 3 days, I felt like a new person. I was amazed how much better I felt. I was sleeping so much better at night, sleeping through the night for the most part, except for getting this thing blown off. And I had to go back to him again to let him know I need it turned down. It's too much. He once again refused. He said, no, you probably need it. We're going to leave it like it is, or I will try to see if I can turn it down. Well, you don't have to try. He's the doctor. He can't prescribe it to be turned down. He wouldn't do it. He wanted me to get a mouthpiece. That would solve my problems. Well, no, it didn't. The pressure was too high, but he wouldn't turn it down. I literally had to go to my lung doctor, who I told him what happened. He said, it's too high. It needs to be turned down. He turned it down, and I'm not going back to the other one now because I don't have to. But my husband also got tested. I knew he had it because I could turn and watch him sleeping at night when I would get up. I couldn't tell if he was even breathing or not. And he also snored. He doesn't snore anymore because he's got a CPAP machine now. He did the test and his was bad, but I already knew from watching him breathe that he had sleep apnea. It was obvious to me. So he got his machine and now he's feeling so much better. He also has the mask. and he even looks better. So he's getting more sleep. Sleep apnea can cause some major health problems. It can cause a stroke. It can cause a heart attack because you're not getting air and oxygen to your brain and to your heart. So it can be very dangerous if it's not treated. And mine wasn't getting dangerous at that point, but when I caught myself twice, not breathing, I was waking up, gasping for air at that point. And that's when I knew, when he told me I had it, I'm like, nah. When it happened, I realized, oh, he's right, I do have it. Very scary time for me at that point. And I didn't feel well at all. I just felt dragging all day long because of it. Now, I can go all day. I'm not getting too sleepy, a little bit now and then, but I'm able to keep going all day long and keep my business going. I'm a writer. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse 18 years. Now I'm a freelance nurse writer. So I work from home with my business. But when he got his machine, I decided to do a little experiment. I switched them because we had the same measurements. I switched it and I slept through the night for the first time in weeks. He got woke up 2 or 3 times during the night being blasted like I was being blasted. He finally got enough of it, turned it off, took it off, and went to sleep. And I realized it wasn't me, it was the machine. It was finally adjusted, and now things are much better. But for those of you that are dealing with a patient with sleep apnea, that's what happens. And it can be scary. I'm sleeping pretty much through the night now and waking up refreshed. Before I wasn't. I would go to bed super tired from all the stuff I was doing, all the, typing and all of the writing that I'm doing, and waking up in the morning just as tired, if not more so, than going to bed the night before. I was losing just a lot of sleep, and that was also dangerous. I was also told by my lung doctor that my losing sleep was not healthy at all. It was dangerous, as a matter of fact. It was going to directly affect my health, and it already was, and I knew that. I could tell it. Now I'm back. I'm getting back to normal. He's doing a whole lot better. So if you haven't got if you're in clinicals right now, and hopefully, I don't know whether you've experienced sleep apnea yet or someone you know has it. Maybe one of you have it. You probably aren't old enough for it, but maybe one of you have it, or you know someone who has it. If they do and are not on a CPAP machine yet, they need to go and be checked out for that, because that can be very, very serious. It can be fatal because you're not breathing. You stop breathing. There's something called central sleep apnea. That's when the brain is not getting the signal to take a breath. I didn't know that was even the case. There's 3 types of sleep apnea. There's obstructive sleep apnea, which my husband and I both have. He used to snore. He doesn't now. And there's the central, and the other one, I forgot what the other one is. But the main one, the one that's really scary and a very serious condition, is the central sleep apnea, where the brain is not getting the signal. The brain stem is not getting the signal. It's time to take a breath. So you can start breathing because the brain doesn't know to breathe. That is very serious. That can be life-threatening, as a matter of fact. So if you haven't had a chance from your clinicals, or if you don't have a patient, or maybe you do have one that does have it, you might want to ask for that, unless they don't want to give a student a sleep apnea patient. You can probably learn a lot from them, because I didn't know what the symptoms were. I just knew I was tired. I just knew I was fatigued. Now, that can also be caused by anemia, and I had profound anemia a year ago. I had a GI bleed. A pretty serious GI bleed. I got very anemic, and boy, I felt that one badly. This feels a little bit different. That one was weakness as well. I'm not weak. I just tire out pretty easily. Not anymore. I'm getting better with that. But that can be a way of knowing that if you're not sleeping well, if you think you've had a good night's sleep, but you wake up tired, you get tired during the day, you're dragging your feet like I was, or if you're just you get really, really sleepy out of the blue, just suddenly. That's what I was having. Severe sleepiness just out of the blue, for no reason for it. Only thing I could do is go lay down and try to get a nap. But no matter how much sleep I got, it didn't matter. I wasn't getting enough good sleep. You need to get the REM sleep in there. So if you haven't had that experience yet, and you don't have a patient that has that, if you're in clinicals, maybe you have a sleep apnea patient. If you have a friend or family member that doesn't have a CPAP machine or a BiPAP machine, but they're having that kind of an issue, they need to get checked out for that, because it can be very serious. If it's central apnea, it can be fatal because the brain doesn't know to take a breath. That morning, I just happened to wake up because I was dreaming I was trying to get a breath, but it wasn't a dream, and I realized I gasped for air because I realized wasn't breathing. I'm glad I woke up when I did, because at that point I didn't have my CPAP machine. Since then, I haven't had that problem. Now, it continues to wake me up when it's pushing air. If it doesn't sense, the machine knows if you're breathing or not. And if you pause for too long, it'll breathe for you. It'll push air in. So mine will push air in. My settings got changed a little bit lower, so it's not blasting me. So it's been a lot better now. But if you do have a patient that does have sleep apnea, find out more about what they felt before they got the CPAP machine. And a very important thing also, the sleep apnea patients that I had, they didn't want to use their machine because of the mask. They felt the mask was just too suffocating. It made them feel like they couldn't breathe, when in fact the air is being pushed in. So I had patients that didn't want to use a CPAP machine because of that. And I didn't realize just how serious it would be at that point, because I hadn't dealt with it. We don't get taught that in nursing school. For LVNs, maybe RNs get it, but we don't. So in my clinicals, and when I went to school 18 years ago, sleep apnea wasn't even a part of the curriculum. No education on that. I got the education the hard way, personally. But I dealt with patients that had it. I just didn't know how serious that it could be. I didn't know how life-threatening that it could be. It can be. So if you have a chance to work with a sleep apnea patient, talk to them, find out what it was like for them before they did it. Now, I had a person that was in charge of. He's the new owner of Day and Night Supply here in Huntsville. He actually bought the company out. He has sleep apnea. He has it real bad too. And he told me that he went on a trip one day with his kids out of town. He had his CPAP machine, but he forgot the cord one day. And he tried to find the cord anywhere he could, and he couldn't. So he had to go that one night without his machine. He said it was miserable because he was so used to using it, and he needed it in the worst way. He had a very bad night. He lost a lot of sleep. He had to wait till the next day to go and buy another one. They're not that expensive. I think mine was $184 or something like that. But that's because I bought it. I didn't rent it from the insurance. I didn't want to do that. So when you go without one too long, the symptoms will start coming back. I don't want that feeling ever again. That was bad enough for me because I felt sick. I was getting sick because of it. And all that time, I thought I just had a bad virus that wouldn't go away. And I found out that it was actually sleep apnea. That was a new thing for me because I had patients with it, but I didn't know what they experienced. So if you get a chance to get a sleep apnea patient, or you have one now, ask them how they felt before and how they feel now. And make sure that they use it. Now, I knew to make sure my patients were using it at night. If they didn't, I tried to encourage them to use it. I didn't know really why. I couldn't give them a reason exactly why they should. I just knew it was necessary. And I wanted to make sure they were breathing. I didn't want to walk in and find out that somebody wasn't breathing and have to make them breathe. But that's why it's important. I didn't know that sleep apnea was so prevalent, but it is. So I hope this information will help you with your patients that you have that maybe they do have it, they don't know they have it, so they're not on a machine. Or you have someone in your family or a friend that has the tiredness and the sleepiness for no reason. They don't feel well, they're not sleeping well. You need to have them get checked out for that. I'm glad I happened to mention it to my cardiologist because He was the one that picked up on it. Only thing he didn't do though was he got the measurements wrong. He set it up incorrectly, and that caused a problem as well. That was causing a serious problem as well. But things are good now. So if you get a chance, if you don't have a patient like that now, you get a chance to have one, you ought to take one and just see what it was like for them, and make sure that they're using it, because it could save their life. You don't want to be going in there and having to do a resuscitation for them because they're not breathing. Not breathing too long, guess what the heart does? No oxygen, it doesn't want to work either after 4 or 5 minutes. So keep that into consideration. Hopefully that will help you with that. And then coming up next, we're going to be doing the electrolytes. I'm going to be going one by one with the electrolytes. You will have that on exams. I want to prepare you for that. And I do write. I'm a writer. That's what my business is, freelance writer. So I'll be writing articles on that as well. So you can read the article. You can watch the video first and purchase the article. The articles will be at least 2 pages long. Those are $20 for an article, but it goes into a lot more detail. And don't forget to subscribe. I have got a lot of good information. Like I said, I've been an LVN for 18 years. I have a lot to give, a lot to share, and maybe some stories along the way. So, my podcasts are found on my website, my podcast website, which is www.susanwestmanwrites.com. WRITES. SusanWestmanWrites.com. That's where the article. That's where the blogs will be. That's where the articles will be. All you have to do is check in there. Send me a message if you want to purchase one. I don't have them on there yet. I'm working on that now because I've got other writing to do. So I've got a lot of writing to do actually. So check that out to see what is there for you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get through this. If you're a new nurse, hopefully this will help you as well. I want to give you a quick story about that. I was working a few years ago. I was working volunteering with the American Red Cross. I was the only nurse, the second nurse that had a license. An RN was there that just got her license, and she didn't know her medications at all. So we went to a shelter. I was examining, assessing a person that walked in, survivor. It was for a hurricane that we were at. Somebody walked in that needed to have their medications checked to make sure she had all of her medications. I was the only one that could do it. We had a lot of new RNs arrive, but they weren't licensed yet. Myself and the RN were the only two that had gotten their license, but I was the only one with experience. I was looking at her medications and going through them. There was a lot of them, probably at least a dozen, if not more. I knew what they were all for, how they were being used, all of that. When I got done with that, the RN looked at me and she said she didn't know what any of those medications were. And she was very embarrassed because she was the RN. She didn't know what any of the medications were for. Didn't even know what they were. So she was a little embarrassed that me, being an LVN, knew what she didn't. So we need to go over medications as well, because you'll need it for your exams and you'll definitely need it for your NCLEX. And I want to help you with that. I have NCLEX information as well. So for now, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Again, be sure to subscribe. I've got a lot more good things coming. Have a good night.